There we go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week. Wow, it's been a hot minute since we've been on, haven't we? My God.
Yep.
But you know the drill, ladies. Yep.
We were doing things.
We're doing things. But you guys know the drill here. We're going to give you a character here. We're going to do all the badass moments. We're going to give you some must-read stories and so much more tonight. I'm your host tonight, Salus Live Guy. As always, are with me are my two usual partners. Reliable, usual partners.
Prepared
partners. Prepared partners. We got Dan the Man right here, and of course Uncle Gary down below. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Back into the swing of things. So
back
feels
into
good.
The swing. Yes,
back into.
Indeed. Let me throw up our pre-show thing here. There we go. Boom. There we are.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So, we get a little quick business out of the way. Like I said, I'm your host tonight, Salus Live Guy. You can always find me on YouTube as Sal's Comic Corner and Instagram as SliveGuy77. Next to me, though, this man over here, he is like the man of Instagram. He's got personal art. He's a CGC registered artist. It's none other than Dan the Man, Dan Kelly Art.
Yeah, CGC is being a pain in the ass. Right?
They still haven't sent that book back to you.
No.
Right? Oh
no,
man.
They haven't. So the book that Richard is waiting for is still there. What's up, Chris?
Hello, Chris. Hey, Chris.
Good
to see you, brother.
So
what's the holdup?
So I sent the book to them. It's this Star Wars sketch cover that Richard had me do for him, where he had me. Oh, speak of the devil. There you go.
There it is.
Richard. So he had me do a recreation of that Silver Surfer 4 cover where Thor's back there with the hammer and Silver Surfer's coming at him, but it's Luke Skywalker back with a lightsaber, and then Darth Vader's jumping down at him.
It's a pretty badass piece, I think.
So I did it. I sent it in. I have the paperwork on the front that's got my account number, all the info for the book, my credit card information for paying for it, like all that stuff. On the second page, it's the last page of it. It's the information for sending it back. Well, I always have the stuff sent to Sal's house because he works from home most days, and I don't. And you have to sign for the FedEx packages, so he can sign for it, and then I just get the book from him, when I see him. So they haven't told me this, but it's the only thing I can figure. They lost the page with all of my info on it, and I didn't know that until Sal messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I got this message about this CGC book, but I don't have anything there." And I was calling him, and it's that book. They just saw his address. They're like, "Oh, well, this guy's got an account. It must be his." And then it's been this like literally weeks going back and forth with them, telling them, don't grade it with a blue label. It needs to be the yellow label. It needs to be under my account. And it took a while just to get them to switch it from his account to mine. And then they were saying, well, we can't grade it with a yellow label because, we don't have the proof. We don't have the paperwork saying that, that it was, that this is who the signature is. So if you want, you can have it authenticated by JSA. And I responded, I was like, I'm not getting my own signature authenticated. That's ridiculous. Plus, JSA is going to have no idea what to compare it to. Yeah. So I was like, just send it back. So I got them to, agree to just not grade it, just send it back so that I can resubmit it. And I guess I'll just have to I'll have to put the paperwork in the bag with it. I don't know, but I'll find a way to get it, to get it back there. But now it's been 2 weeks and they haven't sent it back yet.
Yeah.
And they were blaming the hurricane and stuff on it. When I called them on Monday, I was like, yeah, but this has been going on for weeks before that even happened. So
they're sending it to you or to Sal?
They're sending it to Sal again, because it's certified mail. I'm not home to sign for it. And they won't give me any kind of timetable. They just say, "What's up, Liz?" They just say, we're gonna send it. It's in the pile of stuff to send back. So at this point, I'm just waiting to get it so that I can send it back to them. It's very annoying. And I have a stack of other book of sketch covers I did here, that someone's interested in getting, but I want to wait and send all the stuff. But
hey, Boosh.
What's up, Boosh?
See you, buddy. Glad you joined us.
So CGC is being a pain in the ass right now. But anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art, where I post the art that that CGC is holding hostage at the moment. Actually, I don't think I posted this yet. I was waiting until I actually got it back from them. So I don't think I posted the art for it yet. But I did post a bunch of books that I got signed at Baltimore. Posted a bunch of them. Not all of them because the stack was too big. So it's like 7 books that I posted on there. So you can go check those out. And then the guy that really cleaned up at Baltimore that's down here, that he just walks through the halls and everybody knows his name. They know,
and they're just flipping up books.
Uncle Gary. Yeah, they're just giving him books. They if you want to find him in the hall, if you want to find him, because every time you ask someone where's Gary, they're like, I don't know, he's around, he's hunting. All you got to do is just go to the middle of the area where the vendors are, and you just got to do 2 taps and a Ric Flair. Woo! And then wait and it's like a call and response, and just wait for the response, and you'll know where to go.
That's right. That's how we roll. Thank you.
Uncle Gary.
Thank you for that. And I tell you what, I thought I did pretty well at Baltimore, but you two fellas, y'all did really well. So I don't know that I matched what y'all did, but that's the place right there. That's Comic Logic. You come see us at Comic Logic. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. We would love to see you there. In 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, I guess, we have our Fall Lot Con on Sunday, the 27th of October from 12 to 4. It'll be trunk or treat for the kids, so please dress them up, bring them in costume, family friendly. These 2 fellas up here have brought their wonderful daughters there and had a good time. We turn our parking lot into a little mini Comic Con. We've got 35-ish vendors or so, comics, toys, local artists, local authors selling their wares. We'll even have a tattoo. I think we're even going to have a tattoo artist there if you want to get some ink.
Is Rob getting a tattoo again?
He claims he will every time, so we'll see. Watching Rob get tattooed is always, it's always a party. It's always a good time. So please come see us. Comic Logic, catch me, Mighty Mike Harbor, Rob, and maybe even these 2 fellows and the families there. We would love to see you. Also want to give some love to our good buddy, Archduke Kevy. Archduke Kevy, the comic character of the day site. That is the reason that we are all acquainted, is from that site. So thank you for him for starting that wonderful place to go online and get some comic goodness, on Facebook. I do the cover of the day. Dan does a random panel of the day that is always interesting, intriguing, and or hilarious. So it's always good. Very much out of context a lot of times, which makes it even better. So we love those. We love those. And Sal is always commenting, always being a part of it, and making sure that we're giving you the quality product that you deserve. But, Sal, did we say his name? Sal the Slab Guy. This time of year, it's Halloween time.
That's right.
So where are you going to find Sal the Slab Guy? From where he started, from his genesis, in the morgue. Sal the Slab Guy is hanging books in the morgue while he's toe tagging the cadavers. That is a man who is about his work and his passion and his vocation. Slabs on this side, slabs on that side. So he's got vertical slabs, he's got horizontal slabs. He is in the middle of the slabatorium. The one, the only Sal the Slab Guy.
The slabatorium.
The slabatorium. I'm not gonna lie, I love that. That was great. That was great. That was on the fly, and that was amazing. That was amazing, Gary. I love that one. That was really good. But Gary, what do we got, and we want to give to everybody?
Oh man. If you didn't know, look at us closely, and you can tell that we're positively, absolutely dripping. I mean, dripping with the socials. And we would like nothing better than to give them to you, baby.
That's right. All you got to do is go to at the Kodak Station on any social media. Look at Cold Stiff one. Yes, Chris, that's the way it is. Thanks, Bougie. Oh, yeah, that's for Uncle Gary. Yep. So many a dead man. I didn't create them. They were already dead.
Sal did
Sal's
not
Italian
make them
connection
dead. He
created
just
them.
helped them on their journey.
That's right. That's right. But speaking of journeys, Dan, why don't you tell people where they could journey to? Right there on the web.
Oh, you can check us out at the wonderful website that was made for us by one Uncle Gary, the codexstation.com.
Wow.
It's got links to merchandise, which I keep hearing that there's going to be some new shirts and stuff available soon. We'll see. But there's merchandise on there. There's links to all the socials. There is, pictures of us. You can meet the team. Sal is supposed to update it, but I don't think it's been updated for the past something.
But probably like a month and a half, 2 months, probably. I've been
No, I think the last character of the day that's up there is the Wasp. That's
Ooh.
on the front page.
All right, I'll update it. I'll get to it before the week's end and update it.
Gary's going to take away your internet privileges if you don't.
I know.
I know.
If Gary ever figures out how to do that, that could be dangerous. But I don't think we're in any worries of that happening.
I had to spend too much time working the corner to pay for all the books that I bought at Baltimore. So
absolutely,
the slavatorium that's on the slab corner.
That's right. The slavatorium.
you know this is going to end up being going to be Codex Lexicon now. Is Slavatorium we'll have to use every damn episode.
I'm liking it. The Slavatorium.
The Slavatorium.
Welcome to the Slavatorium. That's awesome. I love it. So, guys, who are we covering tonight? Looks like I think Gary's got him right there. Mr. Warlord himself.
Travis Morgan, baby.
Yeah.
Travis Morgan, the Warlord. Woo,
so
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not know much of Warlord before Gary had put this guy up to do, and I started reading it. I'm enjoying a lot of stories. Look at that, folks! It's the red light time. It's almost time to go. It is almost go time. So, guys, are you ready? Oh, wait, hold on. We want to do one more thing, Gary. Kickstarter for that.
Okay.
You were talking. Yeah. We want to do it here and in the show. So
yeah, I think so too. Listen, at this time, first we want to say a shout out to. We just want to give a shout out to all the folks in the Mid Atlantic and in the interior part of the country that got hit. Yeah, Pam, that got hit really hard by Helene.
Yes.
That storm was really just terrible. And a buddy of mine that I see at Baltimore every year, his name's Jeff Messer. He's a really close friend to Mike Grill, and he always sets up next to him and he helps him out. But Jeff is a creator in his own right, and Jeff had a Kickstarter that he lives in Asheville, North Carolina, and as you know, Asheville got totally devastated, and he got hit hard there. Luckily, he had some flooding in his house. I think basement flooding, a few trees down in his yard, but nothing major. He's not suffering like everybody else. But internet is spotty, communication is spotty, and he was on a Kickstarter that only had like 10 days to go, and that is really, he has not been able to promote it the way he wanted to because of everything that's going on. So I just said I'd give it a little bit of love. I sent it to Sal. We get it's Adventure for Hire, and
I'm throwing it.
And I appreciate you.
Go ahead. I'm going to throw it in the chat. I'm going to throw that link in the chat.
Thank you for doing that. And he also has a really fun graphic novel called Sex, Spies, and Rock and Roll. So love that a lot. So I've really enjoyed that. But Jeff Messer, class act, and our heart goes out to him and his neighbors and all the people in Asheville and the greater area, in Virginia and in Tennessee and in Carolina and Georgia and Florida that have really been hit hard by this storm. This storm, I think it's approaching 200 deaths. There you go. Look at that. Dan's got a copy. Good on you, Dan. So Dan, have you met Jeff too then?
No, I backed the Kickstarter when it ran a couple of years ago.
Well, shoot, I wish I had known you had. I would have made sure you brought that to Baltimore and met him and introduced you. He's a just total class act. So, Jeff, here's to you, brother, and we'll say it in the main show too. Just want to give you some love, and God bless all the folks out there in the part of the country that got hit by that monster storm. So, thank you.
Yep. Stay safe, everybody. Please.
Yep. And Chris, I want to give some love to Chris today too. Chris Chris had the misfortune of losing one of his pets today that
Oh,
he had for about 11 years, his kitty that he loved very much. And so, Chris, like I texted you, man, these little furry pets of ours, they're just little furry heartbreakers. And but they enrich our lives so much. But when you lose one, it is certainly like losing a family member. So we, you know, well, my heart goes out to you, brother. I love you, man. So,
yep.
and
Chris.
so thanks for letting me do that, Sal, and we'll do it during the regular show too.
Yeah, no problem. We'll absolutely do that during the regular show. So, speaking of the regular show, are you guys ready to kick that off?
Yeah, let's do that.
Say what you're saying. I saw some guy posted something where you see this like Suburban or something driving through all the water that's there, and the guy posted, he's like, all these people without power just trying to figure out what to do, and my wife's on her way to her nail appointment.
Oh man. All right, folks. We're going to go ahead and kick this show off, and we'll see you guys in about a minute.
Like that intro. Love
Thank
that
you
intro.
very much. Appreciate that. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Kodak Station's Comic Character of the Week, where we take one character, give you the deep dive on this character. We give you the must-read stories, the badass moments, some top covers, and so much more. I'm your host tonight, Salad Slab Guy. Joining me with me is Dan the Man Kelly from Dan Kelly Art. And down below is the Ric Flair of comics himself, Uncle Gary. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing great.
Are we ready to jump into this character here? And when I watch the numbers counting backwards, what did he say? I missed that. I didn't read the whole thing.
He says when he sees the.
I have to relearn counting forwards, Chris.
Chris can only go one direction at a time. So
one direction at a time. Understood, Chris.
Don't confuse him. Don't confuse him.
Like
you know.
Band?
What'd you say?
What's that?
Like the band?
Yeah, One Direction.
One Direction. No, Chris can only listen to One Direction one at a time. I appreciate y'all indulging me with this character. And you think this is a really obscure character, but then you consider, he had a series that lasted 133 issues, 3 annuals, 4 different volumes. So he's not as obscure as you think he is. We have done much more obscure characters that you would consider like take a character that's much more mainstream. Like earlier you mentioned the Wasp. The Wasp hasn't had her own title for that many issues, not even close. So I think old Travis Morgan is not quite as obscure as you think he might be.
That's true. That's true.
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say, I gotta say, I'm surprised that he was never in an issue of Brave and the Bold. It just seems like the type of character where it's like, oh, Batman just accidentally finds his way there, and then they have an adventure, and then the next issue, Batman's, like going to Chuck E. Cheese with Frankenstein or something, whatever weird shit they had him do.
Yeah, well, because Commandy had 2 Brave and the Bold issues.
Yeah.
So if you had Commandy in there, you surely could have had Travis Morgan in there. But he has crossed paths with Batman, but just not in Brave and the Bold. But yeah, that would have been a great Brave and the Bold. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, we did love him. I mean, gosh, 133 regular issues. That is, anytime a title gets 100 issues, that's pretty significant.
I mean, he had his own toy line.
Had a toy line,
lived, but still.
That's so true.
There,
not the one that's there.
No, it was like they were like He-Man type figures.
Yeah, Mika or. Were they Miko? Yeah, they were bulky. Yeah, kind of like He-Man figures in that funny shape of theirs. Yep.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off and give us the intro for this guy?
All right, so he first appeared in first issue special in November 1979, created by Mike Grell. Unlike most of the characters that appeared in that, he actually got his own series, like as Gary said, a long-running series that launched just like a month or two later. I think there was always the intention unlike some of those other characters, it was always the intention he was getting a series, unlike Lady Cop, who did not have a series that ran for 100+ issues. So the story is the Warlord is, as Gary said, Travis Morgan. He was a U.S. Air Force pilot that was attacked during a spy mission. He was flying over Russia. As he was fleeing, he flew over the Arctic Circle, and he had to abandon his plane that he was flying, which was an SR-71, which he mentions many times.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to parachute through and went through this strange swirling mist, and then he found himself in the land of Skartaris, which is kind of an amalgam of a bunch of ideas of previous things. Like it's this world that's at the center of the earth, and it has a sun that's always up, so it's perpetually noon there. Nobody tells time, nobody ages, and it kind of mixes together a lot of stuff like Journey to the Center of the Earth and Shangri-La and a lot of these things, and and Grell puts his own spin on it too. And as far as powers, he doesn't have any. He's just, I guess you might want to say immortality as long as he's there. Even though people there still die, they just
you
don't
can still die, but your aging process is slowed down.
Yeah, but he's a skilled fighter. He's a pilot. He's a good strategist, but he's just a guy. He's got no superpowers to speak of.
Okay.
He's strong as hell, good fighter, good combatant, marksman. Yep. Smacked him and flew away, did he? I guess that helmet keeps Xavier from controlling his mind, right? Kind of like Magneto. Yep. There's Remco. That was it, Pam. Good job, Remco.
Nice job, Pam.
Nice pull.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to our segment of how he works best. And since, Gary, this is your character, you could kick us off. And there were Slee Stacks, too.
there were creatures that looked like Slee Stacks. Yes, there were. How this character works best, lots of bullets. And, where he's storing all his bullets, we don't. Mike Grill once said, if you're asking me where he's getting the supply of bullets, you're thinking too much about this. There you go. He's best when he is in this sword and sorcery environment, and he's hacking and he's slashing, and then when things get a little bit out of hand, he needs a little bit more, he reaches down, he grabs that 44 mag, and he lets off a few rounds. That's right. When he's best, when he's got a gal that he's fighting with or fighting for, when he's got a gal that's a cat, or a cat that's a gal. That's also another thing. We get into that. That is really interesting. And
right.
When he's just fighting and kicking ass, and he's living his best life, where he is a leader of men, and he's an inspiration. He is all the heroic ideal you want wrapped up into this, this big strapping muscle bound Hulk of a guy. So he is just when it comes to kick-ass characters, you don't get much more kick-ass than Travis Morgan. Like Dan said, he doesn't have any fancy superpowers. He's just strong as hell, got guts for days, and does not back down for nothing.
Yep. Okay, very good. How about you, Dan? What you got?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I like when he is, leading others, when he's fighting for the downtrodden. Yeah,
yep. He was a stud. He was. The ladies liked him. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, he was quite the ladies' man as well. But yeah, just he's he didn't get the name Warlord from sitting around reading books.
No.
Or worried about your feelings.
No, he was not worried about your feelings. So tough, he did not need pants. You're absolutely right. He is rocking a loincloth on a lot of those outfits. Testicular fortitude. Yes.
Well, and was it Skartaris there?
Yeah.
They people are not fans of. Let's just say they're not fans of bundling up with a lot of layers.
No.
It almost reminds me like the Savage Land. It's a place on the Arctic Circle where it's all nice and warm type of thing. So it's like the tropics.
And Grill has said himself he was influenced by Edgar Wright, Journey to the Center of the Earth, and by Edward Rice Burroughs novels. I think the land was Pellucidor, I believe was how it's pronounced by. So all those things fascinated him, and that was the world he envisioned for Morgan. Yep. Tim.
Well, since Tim had to bow out of this episode, I think that is a very good call, and that is his Halloween costume this year.
Do you think Tim is prepared for that to be his Halloween costume this year?
Prepared or not, that's what's going to happen.
Do you think the people of Tennessee are prepared for that to be his Halloween costume this year? Do you think Wes is prepared?
You think Wes is prepared? I doubt it. I doubt that. Well, all right. So,
and the whole idea of Skartaris is cool too, because almost there's literally anything that you could throw in there. It's got the sword and sorcery stuff, and there's dinosaurs. There's these other creatures. Anytime that you want to introduce something new into it, like in the last series, which we'll get into when we get into the recommended reading stuff. Anytime you want to introduce someone new to it, all you have to do is just have people that find a portal into there, and bam, there's more people. There's whatever new technology, whatever they bring in, there's that too. And it's not like they're having to travel to another reality or another planet. It's just whatever, just like him. It's people that could just stumble into the place and you go.
Enter through the polls. So the format of this book for most of the issues was you'd have the cover, you'd open the cover, and on the inside page, it would be, whatever, usually it's Warlord, leading into some situation. And then you would open that first page, and then it's a 2-page spread. And it's usually action, them being attacked or attacking or defending themselves from dinosaurs, from other races or lizard men or whatever. And there would always be this tagline, and here's the tagline that would be in almost every issue: in the savage world of Skartaris, life is a constant struggle for survival. Here, beneath an unblinking orb of eternal sunlight, one simple law prevails: if you let your guard down for an instant, you will soon be very dead. So, that was every issue. That was awesome. So, and then it would have the Warlord, just so cool. So cool. So much fun.
Yep, definitely. All right. So, to echo you guys' comments, the sword, the sorcery, all the you could possibly think of and imagine show up. The sword fighting, he just rushes into a fight. He sees something he doesn't like. He's in there, full on. And then, when things get out of hand or get out of control, he's like, okay, that's good. Let's go. Let's get out of here. That type of thing, But I do like the sword and sorcery approach to it. And for the 70s when this came out, it was perfectly fitting because that was when a lot of sword and sorcery fantasy stuff was coming out. I think Dungeons and Dragons was coming out as well.
Conan was huge at Marvel.
Oh yeah, Conan was huge at Marvel. So it fit perfectly for the time frame that came out. So yeah, I do like and he does work best leading people, charging into a situation where he didn't like something was happening. Some girl was being sacrificed. He didn't even assess the situation. He just sees it. He's like, oh, there's someone being sacrificed. I don't like that. We're going in. That type of thing. And he would charge in there. And of course, when things got too tough to handle, I'm just gonna pull this sucker out and start going. So was it Danny DeVito from Something in Philadelphia? Because anyway, I just started blasting. So yeah, that's pretty much what you guys said as well. I mean, that's.
And he didn't always use it. He wasn't always shooting. So he would save that for the right time, and he'd bring that gun out.
Definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to our next segment then, which is badass moments. And I'll let Gary start off again with, this is your character, buddy. So give us your badass moments.
Well, I will say this: I have some. Do you want me to use some that might take away some that y'all had, though?
All right, we could do that. I'll go first then. Then you can always fill in for that. Fill in after that. You'll bring you'll clean up. You'll play clean up batter, right? Clean up hitter. So anyhow, what I have for badass moments. Oh, this is out of Convergence number 5. There's a saying on there. It's like men. It starts off with just text because men enter rooms through doors. Travis Morgan is no mere man. He is the warlord of Skartaris, and he bursts in the room riding a triceratops.
There you go.
I mean, I'm like, okay, badass moment right there. Riding a triceratops, that was pretty cool. Secondly, this is my general one. This is what I was trying to explain earlier. His mannerisms are always kind of like lighthearted almost. I mean, he doesn't like something, but he's gonna trash talk whoever he's fighting as well, or he's like, I have the one line here. He goes, I bet my Aunt Tilly against Inside Straight that says you're not from around here. That type of thing. It reminds me of The Thing and how he talks and his mannerisms.
Right.
And I like that too. There was another issue and I forgot to write it down. So maybe you know this one. He gets captured and tied to a tree. Okay. He manages to break the branch, but he's still tied to the branch itself. And a saber-toothed tiger comes to attack him, and he uses the branch to actually kill the tiger itself. But still tied up.
While he's tied up. Yep.
While he's tied up. I mean, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So there was another moment where his cat, or the woman that's cat, Shakira, she gets killed somehow. And if I remember this right, he sells his soul or part of his life to bring her back to Death, because he chased Death down. Death was taking her away, and he chased her down and said, whatever you need, I'll do it. And she's like, well, I'll take 10 years, off your life or from your life. And it could be now, it could be whatever. It could be the last 10, whatever. And he's like, I don't care, just do it. She branded a big.
I mean, it would kind of have to be the last 10, wouldn't it? What are they going to have him die for 10 years and then be like, all right, time to serve, you're back?
I don't know. It's Skartaris. We don't know how it works there.
Sal was trying to say, maybe he was long-lived and it would cut in, or maybe it means he would die tomorrow because he would have died 10 years from tomorrow. I think that's what Sal was trying to say.
That's what I was trying for. Thank you very much, Gary.
Yeah.
But that's what I have for my badass moments. Dan, how about you?
Yeah, I'll throw one more in. That it just kind of amused me. It was from one of the rare times that he appeared outside of the Warlord books, because like Gary said, there's 4 volumes. He didn't really appear outside of his own series a whole lot, but there was one, and it was another series that Grell did, where he was writing it when he was writing Green Arrow, and Dan Jurgens was the artist, which is another reason why Dan Jurgens later on, when he was writing and drawing Teen Titans Volume 2, had a 3-issue arc with Warlord, because that's the book that that got his that he started on. So he has left Skartaris and he is in Seattle, and he gets mistaken for Green Arrow.
Facial hair.
For Oliver, because they both are white guys, they both have the same kind of build, they both have the exact same facial hair, and the whole issue, everywhere he goes around town, people are just giving him shit and attacking him, and and mistaking him for Green Arrow. And then he goes and knocks on Green Arrow's door, and Green Arrow opens it, and he just decks him and tells him, like, whatever you're doing, stop it. You're putting people off. Glossing over the fact that how did he know where Oliver lived, that he was Green Arrow, all that none of that really makes sense for the fact that, like, hey, these are both guys that Grell's writing that both have goatees, and it'd be funny to have one of them, punch out the other one.
Do you know what the tagline to that was? Because I looked that up. The tagline for that?
No.
Two worlds, two warriors, one beard.
There you go. The reason they knew
Warlord had the goatee that he did was because when Grell created him, that's what the facial hair that Grell had. It was the same thing. So he just drew what he had.
Warlord has him. So Warlord is bigger than Ollie, which is kind of funny. He's much larger man. He's got the silver hair, and he was able to find where Ollie lived because in those days, Seattle, he was an urban vigilante, but everybody knew where he was. Did Grill do a Grimjack Warlord cross would be cool. Well, I tell you what, almost on that, Grimjack first appeared in Star Slayer, so Grill would have written that. But it was Grimjack was a backup in Star Slayer, and then they had a Grimjack Star Slayer crossover. I'm looking at the copy now, and Tim Truman did the art on that on the cover and the interiors, and it was fantastic. So
where's that issue? Oh, it's right over there.
It's right over there. See?
It's right over there.
I think
it's right over there.
Right beside the Library of Comics.
Yeah, I think it's Star Slayer 10 or 12. So anyway, well, shit. You know what? Let's see if we can get it.
Go ahead, grab it. so here we are. Look at that. Yep.
Yeah. Tim Truman. What number is that? My bad. I was off. It looks like it's number 18. But Grimjack first appeared, I think, in Star Slayer 10. He was a backup feature. So Grill probably would have. So I don't know if Grill ever penned an issue of that. At that point, I'm sure that was Truman and Ostrander that were doing the writing and the art in that.
Right.
So,
right.
But very cool character. So Grill in that story, and we'll talk about that later. It might be on recommended readings, but he's able to track him down because it's a secret. It's not a well kept secret where Ollie's base of operations is. Okay. Yep. There, that's okay.
Then it was funny too because then Dinah comes in and she says something and and Travis starts making some comment about get back to the kitchen and she knocks the shit out of him. He's like, and Oliver says something to him along the lines of like, yeah, better watch what you say.
No, he told her. She said, "What are you messing up my house for?" He goes, "Little lady, why don't you get back to the kitchen?" And she hit him, knocked him out, and then Ollie's got the sore jaw from Warlord knocking him out, and they're both grabbing their chins. And Ollie looks at Travis and says, "Yeah, I could have warned you about that." So and Travis says, "God damn, I am tired of getting knocked down by women."
It's funny, dude, because in the Green Arrow issues, he doesn't have the Warlord get up on. He never is referred to as Warlord.
No.
Skartaris is never mentioned by name. He kind of gives him like a brief, I was a spy plane pilot and I went down. It was like 19. What year was it? It's
70. It was early 70s because he was born in 36. So they're like, well, you don't look that old. And he was,
and then like the only thing he had on for Warlord is he had the wristbands on, and then these gangsters come and and show up to fight him later, and Oliver's shooting arrows at him, and Warlord's just going at him and just tearing him up too.
Well, he's got a gun too. He's got his gun,
but he's also got the constant theme of, oh, we thought he was dead. And they keep fighting, and then he just shows up and kicks their ass.
Oh, totally kicked their ass, and that's where it all started because he's walking the streets of Seattle, and everywhere he goes, people are messing with him. These mobsters are messing with him, and he's got like 4 of them on him at one time. They're going, "Boss, I don't think this is the." And Bougie, they're not that expensive, brother. No, they're like, "Boss, I don't think this is the guy." And then he ends up whooping their ass the whole time. So let's segue into my badass moments. From that Green Arrow 28, where he has found Ollie's house, so that means the bad guys know where Ollie's house is too, and they're going to descend on it because of what Travis has done. It pushes this punk named Eddie Finster over the edge, and he's got all his guys. He goes, "I want him dead. I want him dead." And he's not doesn't quite realize it's not the guy, and so as this battle ensues, they realize there's that Ollie is a different guy from Travis. And so he's taken out all of his men, and Finster and he's Travis is out of bullets at this point, and the clothes he has on get shredded now, so it's just like connected by or this rag is connected, so it kind of looks like the Warlord chainmail outfit. The fact that he's bare chested except for this strap of clothing that's across his chest, and he's standing in front of the car that this punk Eddie Finster gets into, and he says, what are you going to do now without your gun, smart ass? And he goes to run him down, and Morgan is standing there holding his sword, and as the car comes at him, he sidesteps, slices through the windshield and through the the metal piece of the car that the windshield's hooked into, and decapitates him. So there you go. What are you gonna do now, smart ass? You ain't got your gun. And he's gonna run him down. And Travis Morgan steps to the side, cuts through the windshield, cuts through the metal of the car frame, and decapitates him. That's what he's gonna do, smart ass.
Yeah.
So that, hey, brother.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight.
That's badass 1. A second badass moment comes from Warlord 2. Now, Warlord was really, really interesting, the publication, the way this was published, because like Dan said, he was in first issue special number 8, and he got his own series, and they knew that it was pretty much a done deal. He was going to get his own series out of this. So he's in first issue special 8. Then Warlord 1 comes out, and Warlord 2 comes out. Between Warlord 2 and 3, there was an 8-month hiatus. And the reason is Carmen Infantino, who was the publisher at DC at the time, wasn't really sold on Warlord the whole time and had to be kind of the reason he published it was because he found out Mike Grill went to Atlas Comics in the 70s, Atlas Comics, to get it published. And one of the Atlas editors called Infantino and let him know that. And so Grill was like, well, you weren't going to do it. So, of course, I'm shopping it around. And so kind of pressured them to put it out. So after issue 2, they kind of pull the plug on it. In the meantime, Infantino is out as publisher. Jeanette Kahn comes in and becomes DC's publisher. And she doesn't see Warlord on the schedule. She goes, where's Warlord? They go, oh, well, that's been put on hiatus or canceled. She goes, what are you talking about? That's my favorite book. And so she was instrumental. And he talked about this when Dan and I did an excellent interview with him we did for the Codex Station. So if you go to that archives that we have on the website, I think that was Dan and I's first interview together. It was really good, about 2 hours of Mike Grill goodness. And
and remember how the interview ended?
Yeah, his wife called him, it's the time.
Yeah. He's looking off to the side. He's like, all right, my wife says I've been talking to you for too long.
Yep. Sonny, you cannot have this Warlord toy because all these accessories, all these limbs, his helmet would be gone. So no, you're not, Sonny. You can look at it from afar. So she was revolutionary. She had started a lot of the the Vertigo line and a lot of things like that that was her brainchild. And then I think it was Karen Berger came in and edited that really well. But anyway, I digress. So she was a fan of the series and got it reinstated and got it back on. But
thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you.
That was a lot of fun talking to him.
Yep, talked about his service in the Air Force, grill service, which was really great. Well, anyway, in that issue 2, and at the time I read this, I didn't realize that there was a lot borrowed from Spartacus, but that's okay because it was still effective as hell. Warlord is in a gladiator encampment where they're fighting, and he ends up leading a revolt, and they turn, and all these gladiators are escaped, and they're going to march on the capital where Demos is, and where Demos, his arch enemy, the evil wizard, is running things. And he asks these gladiators to follow him and to free all the enslaved people along the way and to make things right in Shambhala. And they ask him, what does he have to offer them? This is very dangerous. That they may not make it out of it alive. And he says, well, you'll have Shambhala is a rich city. There'll be gold, there'll be plunder, but more than that, I offer you the chance to die free men. There you go. I offer you the chance to die free men. Well, there you go. Talk about a leader of men. Talk about inspiring. So that was at the end of issue 2, and I was like, woo, I'm ready. Let's go. Then I had 8 months to wait until the next issue came out. But I digress. But that was pretty badass. And then maybe my favorite moment, Demos, who has done a lot of rotten things to him, including cloning his son and him having to kill that clone that he thinks is his son that has been rapidly aged. All this grief that Demos has brought to his life. In Warlord 50, Volume 1. Oh shit! I was gonna give you some story time on this too, because this was
do it.
Well, let me. I've got to get to it because it was so good. As he's hunting down Demos, and here we go, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. It's story time. So he's hunting down Demos, and he's going to get him once and for all. And he says, I'll be back when Demos is in hell. So this is the narration.
That's a great line.
As he's doing this hunt, the howling wind tears at Morgan as he pushes his mount steadily northward on the trail of his quarry. But the chill of the north wind cannot match the cold fury of the hatred that burns in Travis Morgan's heart. Onward, ever onward, into the dark, frozen wastelands of ice and snow, and always the trail leads north, pushing, driving, spurred onward by a never-ending hunger for vengeance, never resting, never stopping. North, his only companions are wolves and the wind and the hate. Wolves and the wind and the hate. So he catches Demos. Both of their mounts they've had to abandon by this time. The horses are dead, and he's tracking through snow, and he sees Demos in the distance. So this is an ice field, but it's a frozen over sea. So there's a ship stranded in an ice floe in the distance, and there's Demos being attacked by a pack of wolves. And Morgan yells, "No, he's mine!" And Morgan gets there. He probably can't see it. And he's got the wolves. He's fighting all the wolves, and he gets all the wolves off of him. Demos is unconscious. He says, "Don't die! Don't you die! Not yet, you bloody maggot!" And he drags him to the ship, breaks off the wood, is able to start a fire, warms him, and Demos wakes up. And when he wakes up, Morgan, with the hate in his eyes, looks at Demos, pulls out his .44 Magnum, points it right at his head, right at his goddamn head. And Demos knows he's about to die. And then Morgan smiles, puts the gun back in its holster, kicks out the fire, waves at him, walks away, and the wolves descend on him. That's pretty
badass right there.
That's pretty badass. So you go through all that saving him, right? He's mine. Helps him recover, helps him rest, and when he's awake again, puts that gun right at his head and decides, you know what? I'm going to let the wolves have him.
Yeah.
And then
he's letting them know that he could have killed him at any time.
Oh, I could have killed you any time, but I'm going to give you even a more horrible death than a clean bullet to the head. Yeah. So just wow. That dude right there, badass. You do not want Travis Morgan coming for you.
Yeah.
So Demos got what he deserved for damn sure.
That's awesome. That
is
awesome.
Those were my three badasses. Yeah.
All right, very good then. So let's jump on to our next segment, which is critiques and criticisms and what we don't like about this character. I'll go first again on this one, if you don't mind, because honestly, I really couldn't find much that I didn't like. I mean, when I was reading them, I enjoyed the stories. I enjoyed the character. I did not read a lot of the crossovers. I wanted to read the Green Arrow one, but I did not.
So good. So good.
I know. I wanted to do it, just ran out of time. I did see the short with him. I believe the DC Universe animation short that they had with him, or was it that from the Justice League?
It's probably Justice League.
Probably Justice League.
If they've done a short for him, that would be great, though.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll get that confused. I did see that.
Pam, you are right on the money. This is Jonah Hex level of badassery.
That is so true. That is so true. So I mean, I don't really have much that I don't like. I mean, if they go into those crossovers, I kind of be like, okay, how do we really explain it? I was kind of thinking of that Justice League episode then, how they kind of did it there was it made sense, but I just don't see how they could do a crossover without explaining how he got out and he's going to go back in. So that's I don't know, but maybe,
Well, he'd
maybe
go,
the Green
he'd
Arrow
go out
stories.
And in through the poles. There's the entrances to Skartaris.
So they're not secret. They're not secret. Okay.
Well, they're kind of secret, but you can get in and you can get out. Yeah.
Well, there's secret in the fact that like it's not so much that they're like elaborately hidden. It's just people don't know they exist.
Right.
Okay. Very good. All right, Dan. How about you? What
don't
you like?
he stumbled through it by accident.
Right.
Right.
All right. Okay. So that's what I have. So Dan, how about you? What do you have?
Yeah, not too many, criticism about the actual character. Maybe that, who was it? Tara, his wife. That's the Queen of Shambhala. That she kind of complains that, in one issue that he's always with his mistress, and they're like, oh, who's that? And she's like, I forget which is like war or action or something like that. That, she's like, he loves me, but he's all like at the first chance he gets, he's always off going to fight some battle, and then we'll come back here until he's able to go off again. So maybe just that, and that's, just kind of looking at it as a person, like, just stay and be a queen, just stay and be a king with your hot wife, don't always go out looking to die. Well, yeah. And then, like I said, it's, outside of, the Teen Titans thing where some of the Titans, and it's like the Teen Titans team with all those Titans characters that nobody cares about and we're like all quickly forgotten.
Yeah.
Like the 3 issues when they happen to stumble in there, and then like, the Green Arrow issues where he goes out, like he's not really interacting with the rest of the DC universe, which is fine because, it's not like I'd want to see him as part of the Justice League or anything, but it would be cool. Like I said, it would have been cool, to have a Brave and the Bold where Batman, like, gets, goes through a portal and is in Skartaris there and fights alongside him, but then goes back, like something along those lines. I mean, some of the stuff they did in Brave and the Bold, especially with like, like some of the ridiculous stuff they did with like Sergeant Rock and some of the other characters. You're telling me that, that Batman couldn't walk through a portal at the beginning and end of an issue.
Well, that animated one we were talking about earlier, you kind of got that.
Yeah.
Skartaris.
Right, and they closed it off or sealed it at the end, I think.
Yeah, so you did get that. You got that. So I agree. The thing that's cool now with me, the only complaint I have is I don't see enough of him. I mean, he's a great character, fantastic character, and the thing. So Tara, and you're right, because Tara did say the war and battle is his mistress, but so is Shakira. So, and Shakira even said in one of the, I think in the last miniseries, she goes, she doesn't really like me very much, and he said, and he says, if I don't mind sharing you, why does she? So, and Grill had told me too that one reason Tara had the attitude was because he's going off with his mistress too, which is Shakira, who he's having a relationship with. I mean, it was, they didn't make it overtly sexual in the comic, but you could read between the lines,
right?
That they had there was a thing going on, and of course, Grill said he would never answer the question whether she was a woman that could change it to a cat or a cat that could change it to a woman. He would never answer that question.
But he says he knows what the answer is.
Yes, he does. He knows what the answer is. But so Travis with his kitty cat traveling, he's got his needs being met. So Tara, Shakira doesn't mind sharing him. Tara not so much. Tara's not so much on that. And it's cool in this world. He's got his daughter, Jennifer, has come to this world. Jennifer was in the outside world longer, so she has aged. She aged more rapidly than he did, so she's closer to his, their physical ages look closer because she was in the outside world longer. And she's a sorceress now that's a very valuable ally to him. His friends, Machiste, I can't remember the exact, there's a pronunciation that Grill has, wasn't the way I was pronouncing it, but Grill says that's the way I pronounce it, that he pronounces it. And Mariah, who's a Russian scientists there. Great characters.
Married to him or
that
to
were
Beast.
Yep, great characters that they had there as supporting characters. So it's just a whole great. She had a scratchy tongue. Yes, she probably did. That might not have been a bad thing. So I just love it. So the only complaints I have is we don't see enough of him. I think he's a great character. But one of the great things that's going to happen, and was just announced about a month ago on Mike Grill's birthday, was finally, DC is going to release 2 Warlord omnibuses. I have been banging the drum for this for a long time. When Dan and I did the interview, I was banging the drum. And one of the things that was really frustrating to Mike is he's been after DC to do this for a long time. And then IDW, who has done wonderful collections of work. I mean, Dan, I know you've seen a lot of the IDW stuff. They have done wonderful reprintings of great works from different companies, where they'll reprint it. And they'll get the rights to reprint it. They'll reprint it. And as Mike Grill said, all DC would have to do is write the check, or is cash the check. So when IDW gives you your share of the royalties from these sales, all you have to do is cash the check. And DC wouldn't do that. And it was really frustrating for him. So finally, DC has gotten off their ass and they're doing the whole thing. And there'll be 2 volumes. So I am thrilled. And they're going to cover, they say they're going to cover all Grill's work on it. So I imagine they're going to cover to which is around issue 60, where he stopped penciling it too. So I think you'll get at least the first 60 issues, which will be really good. So I look forward to, doing that. And if that's the case, you'll get that badass moment where he tracked Demos down, saved him from the wolves, got him back up to health, and then let the wolves have him. Yeah, Boosh, it's coming, baby.
Right.
I can't wait.
His wife at the time was ghostwriting it for a while.
She ghostwrited after that. Yeah, because the only Warlord trades is this. That's the miniseries. Was this? It's never been. This is the only thing that was ever released, and it's like the first. It's the first issue special, issues 1 through 10, and then issue 12, because issue 11 was just a reprint of the origin issue, and then the 4th volume that went 16 issues. This is the first 6 issues in that, and and Grill wasn't doing the interiors, but he was doing the covers on this, and he was writing them. And then I love that cover with Green Arrow looking at the sword, that thing, the sword of Travis Morgan. So in this volume of Green Arrow, volume 4, it's got scribbles. It's got Mike Grill scribbles. It's got Mike Grill scribbles. And then we've got Mike Grill, and Mike has a really cool signature too, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
So hardly this stuff. This is it. This is the reprints of it, and then. I luckily have all, the whole run, of course, but I am thrilled that they're going to put it in an omnibus format. So hopefully the folks out there, hope you all like the character enough to give it a try, because I think it's just great sword and sorcery stuff. The art is fantastic, and it's just a thrilling ride.
Yes, nice.
Well, that last series too. He did draw the last couple issues of it.
I believe. You know what? I think he did at the end. I think he did at the end.
Like the last 2 issues, I think.
Yeah, Prado was doing the art interior.
He was doing the covers, and then I think he did the interiors for like the last 2 issues. It was supposed to be an ongoing series, but it didn't go on that long.
No, and there was there was a new Warlord that kind of usurped his place, and they moved on. So that was kind of neat too. But it was a cool story. I liked it a lot, and I'm glad he got to tell that story. But I would love to see new Warlord work.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. All right, so before we jump to our next segment of top covers, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor. And I think Gary knows who our sponsor is this month.
I do.
The
Comic
next
Logic, baby.
20 months.
Loudoun County's only comic book store. Please come see us. We would love for you to make our acquaintance. Come in and see us. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. We would love to see you. So come in. You catch me every Wednesday. Catch me and Mike and Rob. Catch the whole gang there on Wednesdays getting our new books, because we get it. We get it in our bloodlines. We get that 4-color ink in there. Makes you strong. I've told you before, reading comics makes you strong, baby. That's what everybody here is, strong like bull. because we read comics. But come see us, and especially come see us on Sunday, October 27th from 12 to 4. We will have our Fall Lot Con. And at Fall Lot Con, it'll be a trunk or treat event. So have your kids dress up in the costumes. There'll be trick or treat candy for them. And we'll have about 35 or so vendors. And there'll be comic vendors, there'll be toy vendors, there'll be local artists, local authors. There'll even be a tattoo joint if you want to get your kid tattooed. I don't know that that's a good idea, but if you want it, maybe you could.
Maybe you can get a Warlord tattoo.
You get a big Warlord tattoo on their back.
There you go. Get a Travis Morgan. Or get that Eagle shield he has tattooed somewhere. So there you go. So good stuff. Come see it. Thank you, Chris. Chris should be there. We look forward to seeing you, and hopefully you two fellas can show up. But yes, he did. He did some, and he's done Tarzan work too. Mike Grill, he's done some issues of Tarzan for. I'm not sure if Dark Horse had it at the time. Of course, he's done John Sable, which is a fantastic book. Shaman's Tears. Back at DC, Superboy and the Legion. His first work was Aquaman. His Green Arrow stuff is superb, and I know in our previous show tonight we talked about there's a new edition of Green Arrow that will have the Longbow Hunters in it. And if you haven't read that, that's one of the greatest comic stories ever told.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, it stimulates you mentally and visually. It is a stunning, wonderful. I mean, I would say Longbow Hunters is a top 10 graphic novel for me. Top 10 all time. It's that good. So Mike Grill, that good. This character, that cool. So please come see us at Comic Logic. And is this time to give my buddy Jeff some love too?
All Absolutely. Right. I'll throw that link in the chat.
Okay, so we're gonna throw a link in the chat. A buddy of mine, Jeff Messer, he is in Asheville, North Carolina, and as you know, Hurricane Helene has just devastated that town and a lot of the surrounding region about it. Nearly 200 deaths there. So I want to give some love to the people there. And Jeff, who is very much a very, very close friend of Mike Grill. Jeff has his own works, like Dan showed earlier, Sex, Lies, and Rock and Roll, his own graphic novel that he's produced. And he also has one that is he's on a Kickstarter for, but because of no internet and other things that are going on there, he hasn't been able to promote it. So it's
got like 10 days left to it or something?
Yeah, I think it's got 10 days. Dan has showed the link for it. It's an adventure for hire. So it's a comic that he has done. So if you want to, give a little bit of love to Jeff on his Kickstarter, that would be awesome. Again, he is instrumental in getting like the Mike Grill art book that was finally released. Jeff's credits are on that book. He's the one that helped get that done, and he's done a lot of behind the scenes work. He is a true friend and collaborator with Mike Grill. So Jeff, love you. And the people in this country that have been hit hard by that storm, our hearts go out to you, and we wish you the very best, and we God bless you all. So just thank you for letting me, thanks for putting that link up for Jeff, and hopefully somebody sees it and wants to, help him out on that Kickstarter. But he's a great guy, and we look forward to seeing him next year at Baltimore. And so Dan, like I say, we'll hopefully get that book of yours signed. I didn't realize you had that book, so it was a lot of fun. I got a copy from him in Heroes Con in Carolina a couple of years ago. So thank you. Nice. And Chris, you're right. God bless him. So thank you for letting me get that out. And on with the show, baby.
Not a problem. Anytime. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to our next segment of top covers. And Dan, you can go first on your top covers. I got you queued up right here. And boom.
Oh, right, yeah.
So all of mine are from Warlord Volume 1. They are all Mike Grell covers. So the first one all the way on the left is Warlord number 6, which I just thought it was badass that he's fighting this giant panther that's got a girl in the clutches, and guy's got a machine gun shooting at it, and it's one of those covers you would see on the rack and just be like, God damn, I gotta see what's going on in this. The one in the middle is Warlord issue 11, and the one on the far right is Warlord issue 29, and I picked both of those just kind of for the same reason. It's just him standing there looking badass, getting ready to fight. The background on the middle one is, kind of cool. I always dig how they do where they do the backgrounds in a different color like that, where they're still there, but it makes the main figure really pop. But either way, both of them it's just him up front and center, looking badass, ready to fight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Dan, that one in the center, one in the center, he wanted that done that way with the negatives. It's kind of like a negative, and DC was the printers were like, oh, we can't do that. And he goes, sure you can. All you got to do is this, this, and this. So he had to explain how that could even be done. So he had to do the whole damn thing himself. So,
wow.
I just thought that was a great story when he told that to us. So
I believe I used that picture as part of the intro.
Yeah, and I almost that cover is a great cover. That may be my favorite Warlord cover. And like Dan said, it's just so cool with the background stuff that they used there, which was from other issues.
Yep. All right, Gary, let's have yours go next. And there you are. Boom.
There we go. Look at that center cover.
Yep.
That center cover is so awesome. Warlord, Warlord 11, this classic. And the one on the right is Warlord 39. I just, loved him on the flying horse, and I love the pteranodons coming at him. He's got that sword out. He's ready. He's ready to give those birds a beating. So, yeah. And look, he doesn't look scared, does he?
Nope.
He's not scared. And then the one on the left is that's that last, that's that volume 4 of Warlord, the last series of it. And it's number 7. And that is a Mike Grill cover. And that is just, God, I love that cover. Look, he's bleeding. He's cut. The sword's full of blood. And he is still coming forward. He is still moving forward. Got a damsel in distress behind him that he's protecting. Yep. That's when he's at his best. And I love that. I love the skull on his arm that he uses for armor. That is just so freaking cool. Yeah, Chris, they are iconic. Just what a great character design, right? Just badass. I love the helmet. So, and this was, I don't remember a lot of things, but I remember the middle and the right end covers. Yep, brother. I don't. This was a hard cut down to get these. Let me tell you, because they're if you think that art is cool, the whole every issue he did the art on is really just fantastic.
Oh yeah,
it is.
And Grill draws women. Man, he draws women. Look at Sable. Some good looking women in Sable, but he draws a good looking gal. If you're into that kind of thing, and I might be.
that number 39, that actually was almost made my cut, but it was like the last one I had cut out. So, yep.
Yeah. Also, Steranko. I agree.
The covers and panels. Yep. Also, Steranko. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Indeed. All right, let's go ahead and check out my covers then. There we go.
So
I got that.
Nice.
Yeah. That number 9 on the far left there. Oh, they're not sized correctly. Damn it. Oh well. Okay.
That's okay.
You ruined it.
I know it sucks. That number 9. Look at this. He's got the with the text. He's like, I don't know what help that you crawled out of, monster, but which you won't kill the warlord without a fight. That's just badass. That's a badass
he's not
right there.
He's not stuttering, is he?
No, he's not. He's
not stuttering.
Nope. He is not. So the middle one there, number 42, excuse me. Yeah, I like that. He's got he's swinging the sword, shooting the gun, and of course, the whole world is filled with disposable villains. It's like you don't know who these guys are, but they're dead anyhow. They look like Roman soldiers almost, but
there's a Atlantean contingent to him too, because a lot of the weapons like that is an Atlantean laser that he's using. So ancient Atlantis ties into Skartaris too.
Right.
Yeah, that was the ancient Atlanteans that had populated it.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So then the far right one is issue number 42, I believe, and Is it number 42? I think it is.
The one in the middle
that's
is
number
42.
3.
Number
The
3.
middle was 42. That was number 3. Sorry, I couldn't read that there for a second. But that was badass. He's fighting these lizard type of people. You got check out the one lizard on the ground holding his head like he's been stabbed. You know,
Yeah, he has. Had his
and
wig
the text
split.
there. Yep, and his text there is he's back, the mightiest warrior of them all. You know.
Yeah, those are the sleeve stack looking things that he's.
Those are the sleeve stacks, Pam. There's your sleeve stacks
Yeah,
for
there
you.
you go, Pam.
All right, well, those are my covers there.
Nice.
And we could go ahead and jump to essential readings. And
Well,
Gary,
while we're
you
doing
wanna go-
covers, can you put me on large? I'll show a few.
Yeah, why not? There's me. How you doing? Here we go.
All right. This looks familiar.
Yeah, it does. Scribbles.
With scribbles on it. And look at that great Mike Grill signature.
Yeah,
That
awesome.
has some scribbles. This one has some scribbles.
Yep.
So when you got him to sign these, how did you pick which issues to get him to sign?
You know what? I picked this one because it's
That's a great
my
cover.
favorite cover, and because of the way the spacing was, it had great places to sign that weren't too busy, so had great places to sign. And then the others I'm showing you, I got from the Hero Initiative because I'm more of a guy that likes to have his the hardbacks and the trades signed with
Right.
stuff. So I have a lot of other books that he has signed. So these other single issues, I had others signed. There's that. Yeah. There's that.
Yeah,
one.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
say, mother.
yeah. I think you're right there, Chris. I think he would say that in a heartbeat. And that was again one of my covers. So
I love
and,
the Pegasus.
there's one more
Awesome.
thing that I had signed. It's kind of not an issue. It's just kind of, it really is scribbles. But when you have the man commissioned to do a piece for you,
That's gorgeous.
That
how
is
about
amazing.
that, baby? You fellas have seen it in person.
Yes, we
Right.
have.
Isn't that awesome? I said I want him with the sword, and I want him with that 44 mag. And Mike Grill hooked me up. Again, Jeff Messer was there when he did this for me. So Jeff, love you too, brother. But yeah, Mike Grill hooked me up. How about that, boys and girls, ladies
So
and gentlemen?
did he do that in one sitting, or was that like? Or,
He did this for me. I commissioned it on a Saturday, and by Sunday afternoon, when it was time to wrap up, he had it done for me.
nice.
So, isn't that sweet?
That's awesome.
Him and Aunt Maggie.
Aunt
There you go. There you go. So anyway,
He shows up to dinner, and Peter's, "Who you? I'm your Uncle Travis."
Uncle
Uncle
Travis.
Travis.
Uncle Travis, and I'm getting more than wheat cakes from Aunt May. But yeah, that's just beautiful, right? So
That is
Mike
amazing.
Grill.
Gary.
the man, I commissioned that. He got that
Yep.
made for me, and I tell you what, this is in a treasured place in my library upstairs. Like I said, the fellas have seen it, but I
Yeah.
love that, and thanks for letting me show that off. So
No problem. No problem. All right, so let's go ahead and jump then to essential readings. And Gary, I'll let you go ahead and kick us off for essential
right.
readings. Here we go.
let's go. Essential readings. So that first trade that I showed was Warlord, the Savage Empire, and of course, all these will, when the omnibuses come out, go get the omnibuses, please. But
Right.
Warlord, the Savage Empire, I'm sure that trade is way out of print. So maybe it's on eBay, but you're probably easier to find in the individual issues, which aren't that expensive. But Warlord, the Savage Empire, will collects the first issue special 8. Collects first issue special 8, issues 1 through 10, and issue 12 of the original run of Warlord. The second one is the Green Arrow 2-parter, 27 and 28, in volume 2 of Green Arrow. Those are cheap. Those are fun. Just great issues. It's got a sense of humor. It's visually fun. It's, fast moving, and it's just a great kick-ass adventure. And then the Warlord volume 4, 1 through 16. It went 16 issues, and it kind of wrapped up where Grill was, taking the character. And that's also a great cover you used for the Warlord in Repose there. I think that's 67. That is a fantastic cover on that. So I'm glad you worked that in there, Sal. Good job, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
absolutely.
It was actually really kind of difficult to find high-res pictures of Warlord that were not overly complicated, and just simple, And this is I found this one for the wallpaper, and I was like, okay, fine, got my story one. But then for the intro and everything else, just tough, really tough.
Well, my youngest child, so my oldest child, we did Danielle Moonstar because I named her Danielle. My youngest was named Olivia Morgan, and Morgan was for Warlord, and this was one of Morgan's favorite covers. So I'm glad you used that. But that, like I said, I believe that's bonus. 67. I believe that's 67. But that is just a great cover of a warrior in repose.
Yep. And if you notice down in the bottom right hand corner, look whose signature's right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it right there, Mike Grell, right below.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. Beautiful work. Beautiful. Good job, Sal.
Thank you. All right, Dan, you're next. And there you are. Dan?
Sorry. So
that's all right.
not much different. Warlord, the Savage Empire. That's the collected volume that Gary talked about. It's the first 10 issues of his series, plus issue 12 and first issue special. Issue 11 is left out because it's essentially just a reprint of first issue special. It just has a new framing sequence at the beginning of it. It probably would have been easier for them just to reprint the first 12, but either way, you get you get the origin and you get the beginning of the story. Warlord Volume 2, it was a 6-issue miniseries that Grell wrote, and I forget who the artist is that did it, but Grell did the cover art for him, which was great. And I thought it was interesting because it follows a bard who, shows up early and is in this tavern singing a song about Warlord, and this guy there says, that's you don't really know about him, and I traveled and fought with him, and then they go on this journey to find him, and they just keep meeting all these people that that have had interactions with him, like all these major characters from the first series, and they all give this bard like their opinions of him as a person and different stories and stuff they've done with him. So I thought that was a pretty cool one. And then Warlord the Saga, which is just it's just the final series. I think the Saga is what they called the collected volume. They had like the first 6 issues, but really it's just all of volume 4.
The trade is called the Saga. It's got the first 6 issues, but volume 4 I think went 16 issues. Yeah,
so really it should, that's my mistake. It should just be volume 4 because it was 16 issues, and Grell wrote it all. It was meant to be an ongoing, but it didn't last past 16 issues. It had various artists, like Joe Prado was the original artist, and then it flip-flopped between a couple other ones, and then Grell drew the last couple issues of it. And it involved some new people from the outside world coming into Skartaris, and I don't want to give it away. Just go read it. It's good.
It's good, and it's inexpensive if you're buying the single issue.
Yep. All right. Very cool. So here we go with my readings. So not too much, but let me tell you what happened. As I was looking through some stories, I wanted to find something interesting that I wanted to read. And I'll start with the very bottom one, The Forgotten, Volume 4, 7, and 8. This was a good action one. He loses his memory of who he is, but thank God he remembers how to fight, and that's one of the lines on one of the panels. But that was such a good story, and I'm like, okay, well, let me go back on Volume 4, and I read 1 through 6, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and take this to 12. And then I believe after 12 goes to his son. I think 13 introduces.
Yeah, it does. It goes to Tinder. Yeah.
Right. So I stopped there, and then of course Volume 1 through 12. Who doesn't like the origin story of awesome character? So if you want to do the origin story first, that's good. But definitely do Volume 4, 1 through 12, and especially 7 and 8, because there was just a lot of good action in 7 and 8 alone. And that's what I enjoyed about it.
There's a great scene in one of these where he's in a bar and he's fighting. He's sword fighting. He's got a beer in the other hand, and he's yelling. He's telling his friends, "This is the life." That's why he's not home with his hot queen, because this is the life.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I think we all skipped over Volume 3, but I think it's worth mentioning because that was the one series that Volume 3 ran for 10 issues, and it was the one series that Grell was not involved with. It was written by Bruce Jones. It was drawn by Bart Sears. So it was, it's just the one that Grell didn't have anything involved with, and it didn't last very long.
Right.
The Warlord character was also in the recent Tom King series about first issue special called Danger Street. And so the Warlord character was in that. It was kind of a odd take on the character, but it was interesting, and I thought what he did with Danger Street was an interesting read. So Warlord was in that series that King did last year.
Right. All right. So this moves us to our next segment, and I think we're all going to be pretty much in agreement on who this is.
There's only one answer for each of these.
There is only one answer, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Uncle Gary. Okay. Mike Grell for me. Mike Grell, 100%. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean it's got to be Grell
as writer and artist. Absolutely.
As writer and artist.
I mean, there's been some other artists that have done some good work on him, but nobody touches what Grell has done.
Absolutely. And honestly, I looked at Volume 3, and when I noticed it wasn't Mike Grell, I kind of went, okay, let me go back, because I wanted to stick to the Mike Grell run.
It just occurred to me there is another crossover that happened in the Aquaman run that went to 75 issues. They did cross over.
Oh.
They did cross over with Warlord. So it was Aquaman. Jurgens was writing it at the time. So that has just occurred to me that that was another crossover in that Aquaman series. I think it was toward the end of it in the 70s, maybe. AQUA. So that would have been Aquaman Volume 5. And there was. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Try that again. There you go.
So there we go. So so that went a few issues. So Aquaman, that was 71, probably about 2 or 3 issues where Morgan and Aquaman crossed paths.
Okay.
So there was another crossover there. I'd kind of forgotten that. So but so he does cross over occasionally, and with the Aquaman connection with the Atlanteans, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
That's true. Very true. All right. I think we could go ahead and wrap this up unless we have any final thoughts.
I was wondering if they were to ever do a Warlord live action, who do you think would be a good fit for Warlord? Because it's got to be someone a little bit older, but they can't be like Arnold Schwarzenegger old, but they got to be a little bit older, but they've also got to be, they got to be jacked too. And they got to be willing to, run around the whole movie not wearing a whole lot.
I think Brad Pitt could probably do it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Pitt was in exceptional shape for Once Upon a Time in L.A. And for he looked pretty good when he was it Troy? He was in. Was he in Troy?
Yeah, he was in Troy. That movie sucked.
Yeah, movie. Well, I do appreciate Rosario Dawson in that movie though.
Yeah.
So, but Brad Pitt was Achilles in that. So maybe Pitt, but yeah, it needs to be an older actor that is that's got some physical. Gravitas to him. Maybe. Got to tell you what, I think he may be Errol Flynn. Yeah, maybe Errol Flynn.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that.
What's his face? Russell Crowe probably could have done it. You know, when he was
around the Gladiator times, yeah.
around the Gladiator time, and Russell Crowe, I think, would have made an excellent Travis Morgan. Absolutely. What about you, Sal? You got anybody?
I can't really think of anybody in that age frame. I was actually thinking Chris Hemsworth would probably make a good one, but a younger Travis Morgan.
Well, Hemsworth's getting a little older now too, so he
True.
could probably,
True.
you know, and Morgan is a big man. Morgan's a big man, so you know.
That's right.
So I think Hemsworth would be a good choice on that. And didn't Hemsworth look kind of rough in the last Mad Max movie he did?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh, Batista, Momoa.
Batista, Momoa. Yep.
I would think Momoa more than Batista. J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, he got jacked for that Santa Claus movie he did. You see those pictures of him working out with The Rock, and he got big.
Oh, I tell you what. Now maybe he's too old now, but I bet Kurt Russell could have done a really cool.
Yeah, Kurt Russell would have been good.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I think he could be really, really great. Tom Hardy.
I was thinking Tom Hardy, but I thought maybe he was too young for that.
Tom Hardy.
Travis?
Tom Hardy's a chameleon. He can pretty much do anything he wants, it seems.
Yeah.
Carl Urban would probably be pretty good.
Oh yeah, Urban would be good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with that too. But what a great role, right? Yeah, Jackman would be good in that too. Charlie Chaplin. There you go.
What's our chat drinking tonight, guys? My goodness.
So,
all right.
I hope you all enjoyed. a little Travis Morgan. I mean, if anything, you got to look at some great covers.
Yeah, he did. Got some good stories to dive into as well, I think. James McAvoy.
Well, you know what? McAvoy is jacked for that last role he's done.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, and you see him in Split. He's
very ripped.
Yep. So, love me some Travis Morgan. So I appreciate y'all indulging me on this one.
Yep. Color can play anything. That's true, Chris. That is
he
true.
was a fantastic Judge Dredd.
Oh, he was great. He was great as Dredd.
Yeah. He was great he was great in the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, he was a fantastic McCoy, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. All right, folks, let's go ahead and wrap this up and put it to bed and call it a night. Once again, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. Joining me over here is Dan the Man Kelly. Dan, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at right now? Look at that.
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. Go check it out. Give me a follow. And then go to all the stuff that he is about to tell you about right now.
Our sponsor of the night.
Comic Logic. Please come out and see us. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. We're in Ashburn. Please come see us. We would love to see you. You can catch me, Mighty Mike Harbor, Rob Kalin, and catch us every Wednesday getting our new books. Please come see us there. But really, we really want you to come to LotCon. LotCon, our fall LotCon, is October 27th. We turn our parking lot into a mini Comic Con. We'll have about 35 vendors. We'll have comics. We'll have toys. We'll have local artists, local authors. We'll even have a tattoo booth where you can get a tattoo if you want on your patoo, whatever you want on your patootie, a tattootie on your patootie. If you want, that's what you can get. But we would love to see you. It's going to be trunk or treat, so it's going to be great for the kids. So have them dress up, costume, and we'll the vendors will be giving out candy to them. So it's a really good family event that Sal and Dan both brought their kids to last year. So hopefully we'll see them this year. Chris may make it out there, and you won't know whether he's in costume or not. It won't matter.
Sal's going to get a giant back tattoo of Venom eating an Italian hoagie.
There you go.
Wow,
that's a good idea.
But will you get it with foil? Because that would intrigue Sal. If you put foil, that would be
would make a foily goodness, huh?
Foily goodness, absolutely.
Oh, you know, Bougie had a good suggestion for
Oh yeah.
Oh, Cavill, yeah.
Boom, winner. I like that. Cavill would be great. I still think Cavill was a fantastic Superman. Yeah. Cavill would be fantastic as a grizzled old Travis Morgan. So anyway, please come see us at Comic Logic. We would love to make your acquaintance. I was going to get Chris tattooed on my junk, but I didn't have room. Let's see. Well, you know, if you told me you could get Christopher tattooed there, I'd be really impressed. That's tattooed to it. There's that Danny. That's my daughter. So that's.
Hey, Danny, how are you?
Hey,
Glad
have you seen the movie Down Periscope?
Yeah.
I know of it. I know of it.
It's
remember
so funny where he plays the submarine captain, and his whole crew is all these misfit idiots. And throughout the movie they make reference he's got a tattoo on his dick that says "Come aboard."
Wow.
All right, then. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Gary, we got something we want to give to everybody. What is that?
Oh, listen.
Chlamydia.
If you've been paying attention, if you're paying attention, and you look at these three faces here, you know that we're positively dripping with the socials, and we'd like nothing better than to give them to you.
That's right. That's right. And Dan, where can they find us online?
Oh, you just type in thecodexstation.com. It'll take you there. It's got links to all the socials. You don't have to worry about searching for us on Twitter or Instagram or anything. You just go right on there and just click on it, and it'll take you where you want to go.
There you go. There you go. Beat the team, buy some merch, and so much more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week, and I hope you guys have a 9.8.